Hi everyone, it's Crystal aka Queen BRZ back with another installation video. So today I'm going to be installing my new Drambeenie spoilerizers and I'm so excited because this is going to go ahead and elevate my spoiler and give it that super sporty look that I've been really wanting. So these are what the risers are going to look like, and what's really cool is Drambeenie went ahead and got a 3D scan of the trunk and the spoiler itself, and these were 3D printed, so you know that it's going to be factory fit. I fall in love too easily. So the tools we're going to be using today are a panel gap tool, 10mm ratchet and socket, and a 10mm wrench. So the first thing we're going to do are locate the two black caps on the tops of our spoilers, so this one and then the one on the other side, and it says to place like a small piece of tape on the front part so that we know what side is the front part for when we have to put it back on. This is when we're going to start using our panel gap tool and put it in through the front and pull upwards. God. So apparently I'm Wonder Woman with a lot of super strength, because that came off a lot easier than I thought it would. Don't use all your strength, it's plastic. Just kind of shimmy your way around and get it out more gently than I did. But what we're going to do next are remove these two bolts with our 10mm wrench and socket. But I ain't got time for that, so we're going to use my automatic. By automatic, I meant electric ratchet. So now that we've removed the bolts, we need to put those in a safe place, and now it's time for us to go ahead and lift the spoiler and put it in a soft, safe spot. It's not very heavy. Okay, so now that our spoiler is in a nice safe place, we just go ahead and open up our trunk and locate where our black rubber gaskets are. Mine are going to be right here, and they're pretty easy to take off. You just start by kind of pulling on the corners, and you have to make sure that they don't fall in here. I don't really know how I would get it out if it did. I find that when I kind of push one side in while holding this, I can kind of pull it out a little easier. So now we're going to be using the 10mm ratchet and socket to remove these bolts. I went ahead and loosened them already, but once you get to the end, you kind of want to use your fingers to untighten it, just because you don't want it to fall inside the trunk. If it does fall inside the trunk, I did read in the directions that they suggest using a magnet to get the bolt out, but that's too much of a hassle, so let's just try to use your fingers to untighten it. So now it's time to remove the stock risers. So this is going to be a little weird getting off, so the panel gap tool is the best tool for this. I went ahead and just kind of wrapped it around in a towel just to salvage my paint a little bit. Okay, so when you're removing this at home, the first two in the front are really easy to get off. The one in the back where the green clip is, by the way, you are supposed to leave that in there. It's a little bit more difficult, so just shimming the tool around, and we got that off, and then this green part is going to go ahead and stay in there. Okay, so the next step is to look underneath the spoiler and remove the rubber piece by pulling it off with your fingers or with a panel gap. I already did it, I didn't know how easy it would be. So yeah, there we go, that's off. So with the bolts that we found underneath the rubber piece, we're going to go ahead and heat it for about 30 seconds with a blow dryer. So after 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead and use our H3 Allen key to remove the bolt. So now our instructions say to remove these black foam pieces from our risers, just in case we want to reverse the install. Now we're going to go ahead and remove these two pieces by pushing down and moving it over to the right to separate it. And then once this part is disconnected, this little clip, we're just going to go ahead and shimmy it out, like so. Okay, so next we're going to be connecting the Drambeenie inner core to our stock inner core, and the way it's going to fit in is just like that with the black bolts that are provided. So initially I wanted to just cut this off, but in the directions it says to leave it on, so don't cut it off. If you see this, I should probably say this in the beginning just in case anyone's like, oh, I want to cut this off. Don't cut it off. It says not to. So one thing I want to point out really fast with these two is you want to match up the left to left and the right with the right, just in case that wasn't self-explanatory enough. You want to match those up together. I also wanted to point out the quality of the product. They have their little logo right there. This was 3D printed, and you can see the left here, left there matches up perfectly, and it's just so well constructed. It looks so good. So the next step is to put the inner core into our new Drambeenie risers. So excited. And it's gonna go ahead and fit perfectly. It aligns here at the top, so you wanna make sure that that is perfectly aligned. And then just like we removed it, we wanna go ahead and push down and get it under this little clip here so that it fits in just right. It's not in yet, but here we go. Ta-da! Well, now it's time to put our VHB tape on the bottom of our inner core, and it's very specific to point out that you shouldn't have any tape like leaking over the edges, so it should all kind of fit perfectly inside of there. And this is what your finished product is gonna look like. Okay, so now that our riser is put together, it's time to attach it to our spoiler. So the next step is to remove the red tape, and doing one side at a time, we're gonna go ahead and align the holes. So start with the right and then go over to the left. So once everything is aligned, the instructions say to push down on the front of the riser so that the green clips engage. So now it's time to open the trunk and secure everything in place using our original bolts. Next, we're gonna put the bolts in and tighten everything down. The last thing we're going to be doing underneath the trunk is putting the gaskets back on. Next, we're going to make sure that these top bolts are tightened and secured. Final step is we're going to go ahead and put these caps back on. Where we marked the tape, we want to make sure that's facing forward. Now to pull my car out and check it out in the light. My final thought on these Drambeenie risers is that I think they're such a good buy and super easy to install. You can really tell how much thought and time went into manufacturing this product, and the 3D technology they use just makes the fitment perfect. On top of that, the look of my car is so much sportier, and I love feeling like I have an aftermarket spoiler when really I just have some super sick risers. If you're interested, the risers are available exclusively through FT86 Speed Factory, so definitely go check them out and let me know if you have any more questions. If you enjoyed my video, please like it and subscribe down below for more on what I do to my car. Until next time, Queen BRZ out.
I fall in love too easily.